We are a week away from King of the Table 13, and you know, certainly a match that is getting main event level hype is the match of Brian Shaw versus Eddie Hall. And since it was announced, the hype was pretty big, but back then didn't really seem like Eddie had any chances. But now Eddie's technique seems to have really evolved. Like, in Neil's very first training with Eddie, he asked him a couple of questions, and one of them was, do you think you're more explosive than Brian? And without any second thoughts, Eddie just says he is. And at the time I was watching, I was like, okay, he might be explosive, but how he's gonna use that against Brian, since he'll first have to learn the technique to then apply it. You know, I thought it would take pretty long for Eddie to learn the technique, but as we've seen on my yesterday's video, not only Eddie has learned the top roll, but his explosiveness is on point. Certainly much faster than Brian, at least by what we see on practice pulls. And Neil even commented on my video, saying that the footage I showed of Eddie flash spinning was from 2 weeks ago, and that he's much more fluid and can go much faster if he desires to. So then I linked that to something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, that it is the flash spin that Brian Shaw got on that mock super match. You know, according to Brian, he wasn't set right, and he just didn't felt ready, so that's why it happened. But if somehow he gets to feel the same way on the match, and also considering that the flash spin we saw Eddie doing is much faster and fluid, I think we might get to see a couple of pins from Eddie. And to me, it is as Levan said, in arm wrestling, speed counts for a lot. If you got the movement right, and you're faster than your opponent, you might be an advantage.
I want to see how this goes. Joking apart, I'm training hard. All depends how I go. If I come close to Brian, then I might continue. We're actually working very hard on back pressure. So when the ref says go, I'm going to go as hard as I can in the opposite direction. So I'm going to go whack, just to throw you off.
This back pressure, like that.
That's the smartest thing you've said the whole time.
Literally.
That is actually
and
the
he said it as a
smartest
joke.
thing. Right.
He said it as a joke,
Yeah.
which means Neil, you've not been doing a good job.
T-shirts. Those T-shirts, they got Beast Farm. They say hashtag Eddie has no chance.